Okay, so the second video in how to create a complex surface on top of an extruded part. This is the multi-body part once again. So I've extruded this handle which has got a taper of 4 degrees all the way around, and this one uses surfaces instead of solids, so we're not going to use lofted boss, we're going to go to surfaces, lofted surface. So I've started off with the front plane and a sketch on the front plane, and in this case I am using splines, but you need to lock the spline in. So just to note that that point and this point are locked in. So this might be quite tricky to find. What you need to do is activate your two filters, vertices and sketch points. Then you can click on the one, hold the shift button or the control button down and grab another one, and then you can make vertical. So those need to be locked in, and then at the back as well. So this one's a little bit trickier in that we don't want to model that this surface from all the way around. We only want to model from this edge here to that edge via that sketch. So this third sketch here is another spline. So I need to get that point there to be locked into this point here, vertically. Okay, so what I've done at the end, just to get this spline to behave nicely, is I've created an ordinary spline. So let me just delete it. Or, yeah, let me delete it and then start again. So it's a spline, which I've gone using that point to that point. And then I've made this tangent and that tangent. Let's just grab the spline and the edge. Should do it. Seems not to do it. Let's grab the two. There we go. Okay, so and then I've made this into construction geometry so that it doesn't get used in the actual modeling. So that's just guaranteeing that especially this end here is tangent to this, and that if I were to finish this off, it would do something like a tangent. Now we're not going to get brilliant results out of this, but they'll be good enough for what you're doing at the moment. So let's go to the actual command, lofted surface, and here we need to do the selection manager trick again and make sure that it says select group. So 1, 2, 3, it'll be these three. So it's very similar to the last one. So that's 1, and then that'll be 2. Except here we've got no guide curves. You could put guide curves in as well. And that would actually help quite a bit. But I think you know how to do that, so I'm going to leave it at this very simple stage, as you can see right here. So that's all we need. Now, if you look closely, you'll see it's not meeting that edge at a tangent. If you try and put tangent in, it's going to create a mess. So I've tried it. You can see it kind of overlaps, does this weird thing. You can apply all sorts of things. It's not going to work, so just go to none. We'll put a fillet in, and I've actually made my extrusion quite a bit larger so that I can fit the fillet in. So this is as much as we need for this exercise. It's not the best modeling at all by a long shot, but I'm just showing you a sort of a very quick way of simulating something which has got a complex surface. You can see it's very kind of peaky. It doesn't have a nice rounded feel to it. But nevertheless, let's carry on. And so the next thing I want to do is I want to do a filled surface. Now, filled surface allows you to create a surface between just two edges, and you should use it with care. So I wouldn't suggest using it too often. What you can do here is you can select the sketch and you can make the contact at the top a tangent instead, so that at least it creates a sort of a bulbous feel to it. The second sketch I don't think is going to do the same thing. It is, but it's going to create a nasty over in this singularity here. So you don't really want it. Rather leave it contact. Leave it as it is. Okay, so it's not ideal, but it's good enough. I mean, or two more surfaces that I need. One is I need to offset the surface just duplicate it. So I'm selecting that top surface at 0. So the last one is a planar surface, which is similar to the filled surface, but this is planar. So it's that one there. And now if I hide the solid bodies, I've just got surfaces, 3 surfaces. So if you section through, you'll see it's empty. So it's not a solid. Let's make it into a solid. So you hit the knit surface command, then you can just drag select all of these, say create solid. Don't bother with merge entities, it won't do it. And then we can just check that it's a solid. Bingo, it's a solid, right? Which means we can then combine that solid with that solid. You already know how to use. I'm going to say combine these two, that one and this one. Say yes, and there we go. So it's one solid, and obviously if you had your bottom piece in, it would be all 3 combined. So you might need to put a draft in here. Directional pull will be the top plane. That's just the direction. So it doesn't affect anything other than which way it goes. And then you can't use neutral plane. You'll have to use parting line. Well, you might be able to use neutral plane, but if it doesn't work, use parting line, and then it's 4 degrees, and then just choose this line here so that the arrow points upwards. That'll give you a draft. All right, so it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And then we will be able to put in a fillet along there of 0.7. And if you've done this correctly, you should be able to get away with that quite easily. There we go.